Okay.
And yeah, we'll give people a few minutes to hop in and
Yeah.
all that normal good stuff. We'll ask the viewers how the video and audio is looking and things like that.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully my internet won't be too bad. It was last time I tried streaming. It was pretty bad. Oh, yay! There I am.
Cool.
On your. Well, there's the video feed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's up. All right, perfect.
Hey, it's me again.
Hey, it's us again. Hashtag bird the dip.
Ooh, I like it. Hey, it's us again.
That's right. Hey, it's us again. People loved when we did that live stream. Now, when I did my video earlier and I did my live premiere, a couple people that joined in said that YouTube was really lagging behind getting the notification bell out to people.
I believe it. Okay, I believe it.
And person told me that YouTube has been late on, seems like, stocks that are heavily shorted. So of course MMTLP, MMAT could draw a flag, but they said other YouTubers they follow that don't cover like stocks, the bell notification worked right away.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
So I guess we'll see. We'll see how that is. We got some people joining in, so that's good. All right. I know people's been definitely wanting us to get back on here together. It's been a while.
Right, definitely. Oh no, somebody said they had to type her name out. That's how I usually find you, actually. Although I'm subscribed to you and everything, I just type in Terry Yonker, and it always takes me to your site.
Nice.
Your page.
Thank you for joining, William. I'm sure William already shared it to the Facebook, the Meta Facebook group, so that'll be great. People in there will get to see it. What's going on, D? Welcome in, everybody. Two of your favorite MMTLP YouTubers right here. If we can get Tony in here for Market Moves, we'd have like trifecta. Yeah, we can get Allie in here too, you know.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be a superfecta.
Yes, it would. Yes. All right, so in today's video, guys, we're going to talk about the video I did earlier today, actually. And I wanted to bring Roller Pigeon on and get her opinion of the findings that I found. And I'm going to explain how I even found this stock and how I even came across into reading the press releases from the stock, because I'm not saying it's 100% exact. I just said there's similarities between when I was reading it and I see spin out, spin off the assets. It's on their quarterly reports that they successfully spun off the assets. I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly like Ken's words at the AEW interview with Sterling. Like they're going to spin out or spin off the assets. And that's exactly what this company used in their language in their Q3 quarterly reports. And I'm like, man, this is going to be very similar. So I do want to touch base on a couple questions that someone had from my video, just so we touch base. I'm going to confirm tomorrow that ticker symbol, IMPPP. 3 Ps, the 3 Ps. So that is going to be this one here, guys. That's going to be the Imperial Petroleum 8.75 cumulative redeemable. It's a Series A preferred share. It's how this company decided to do it. Now, people was freaking out saying that I don't want stinking dividends, like quarterly dividends, like I want my freaking cash. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is go buy 1 share of that on Fidelity, and the next day I'm going to see if I can sell it. Because I'm telling people that you should be able to sell out of that share and just take the $21 cash that it is. So if they announce a $26 dividend, that don't mean you have to stay in that stock and collect quarterly dividends if that's what they're going to do. You have the option to sell it back to them, and they're going to take it from you and probably, like, you know, collect dividends and as they develop the land and things like that. So I'm just kind of like pure speculation. So going to be super excited to show you all, get her opinion on this as well. So yeah. All right, so we got people in here. Is there anything you wanted to add before I go over the story of how I kind of even came about this?
No, I think you should tell the story because I don't even know how you came about it. You're like so excited. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm making the video now.
Yes.
Tell me the story.
If I come right home from work and I'm making a video before dinner, like, I have to be pretty excited. And, like I said, this here is the closest thing I could find that's similar to our current situation. Because of the whole spin out, spin off in the quarterly reports, they're announcing dividends and things like that. I got really excited. So let's go to the story. So while at work, when we have a lot of downtime, I just browse stocks. That's what I do. I'm surfing on Twitter. I'm surfing stock twits. I'm surfing over the internet and things like that. Well, of course, I'm scrolling across Twitter and someone's talking about oil stocks. And IMPP came up as a heavily shorted stock. Will Mead on Twitter posted like heavily shorted stocks, and IMPP was one of the 10 on that list as a top 10 shorted stock. So I saw that it started to get a small bit of momentum today. So I'm going to go to my channel here real quick and go to my community tab because I want to show what I posted earlier. So right here, as you can see on the screen, guys, I posted earlier today, about 5 hours ago, I took out a small position. This was gambling money. I bought 300 shares of this stock, IMPP. So then I get onto stock twits and seeing people talking about it. I saw it was shooting up. As you can see here from the chart, I didn't really get a great screenshot of it, but I just bought 300 shares at an average cost of $1.64. If we go take a look at IMPP now, it's over $2. So that is like a fantastic little quick flip there. I mean, what I buy $1.67. So I bought way back here and I'm currently up 27% on that position. And I've only had it, not even 5 hours. So that's pretty amazing to catch that stock on that hike. So basically then, as I started buying the stock and planning for a swing trade, I'm like, let me just go on the company website and read some of the recent press releases. And lo and behold, I see them having their title, Series A Preferred Share Dividend. I'm like, an oil stock talking about Series A Preferred Share Dividends? You gotta be freaking kidding me. So got really excited. I started digging through more of their press releases and I started reading them and I'm like, oh my God, now this is like a ship container company that does this. They sold off assets. So it's kind of similar, but different. I'd say there's similarities. So that's why we put together that quick video today. I wanted to give Roller Pigeon enough time to learn about the stock, do her little quick DD on, like I said, guys, I literally found this stock this afternoon, came home, did a quick video on it. I don't have much time into it, but I think it's similar in our situation. So now I'm going to turn the floor over to Roller Pigeon, and I want to hear her opinion of my findings. And like I said, this could be nothing, guys. It's just me purely being speculative, putting the conversation on the table and seeing if it can go anywhere.
Okay, well, thank you. That's a great story. One, congrats on your very quick flip on Imperial Petroleum. So congrats on that. You're off. Yeah, you're just getting in, and all of a sudden 5 hours later, it pops up like what, 26% you said? That's,
yeah.
Woo, that's a great day
like
trade.
I said,
great
like
job.
I posted on the YouTube and the community tab, guys. Go check out the community tab. Roller Pigeon, you need to make a community tab on your channel as well. You'd have a lot of followers that probably want to be in your community. It's a great way for a little extra income. So definitely, we can talk. I can help you set one up if you need help. But
right, yeah, I've been debating that. Like, I don't know. There's people maybe after MMTLP, like a life after MMTLP thing happens, that might take shape. So yeah, like I think it's great that you made money on that day trade. That's awesome. One, kudos. That's incredible. I'm blown away by that. And it was just like serendipitous. You found it. Yeah, let's try that. Oh wait, it's up 26%. Great job. Two, I think, yeah, there's some similarities, as you pointed out. It's not all the same, and it's, but there are some similarities, right? So, we can find similarities, and I like that, seeing what other case studies are out there. And I think it's great that you're going to buy a preferred share tomorrow because it is a trading preferred share, and then sell it and be like, see, there you go. Look, we can do this. So if you're given shares, if it spins out to its own company, or if you're given shares in a buying company and not cash, because if you're given shares in a buying company as a tax-free event, you can just sell those shares, right? Easy.
Yep.
So, okay, we have... Oh, and then after this, I'll have some additional questions because you have all the charts and stuff.
Yes.
So, hon, let me turn on... So, where I am, the sun is right there, so it might make things difficult.
Oh, okay. With
glare and everything at this time of day. See, if IMP, that's the parent company, right? The oil, they spun out into freighters, cargo things, which is IMPP.
Yeah.
And it sounds funny because it's, like Seymour Butts, IMPP,
yeah.
right? IMPP, and then it has its own preferred share, which is trading under a different ticker symbol name, IMPPP, which is the tradable divvy. So with our situation right now, we're at MMAT, right? We had Torch up here, then MMAT, and they're spinning out those oil assets into Oilco/NextBridge. So we're here at this part, but if it does become its own actual entity, like if they don't sell the assets, if they decide to develop them, then it will become, maybe NextBridge. We'll see. Or might be something else. And then if that has its own preferred dividend, yeah, that might be tradable as well. Then, it's, NBB for NextBridge and then NBBBB.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could be. Yeah.
Right? But yeah, in a comparison, to IMPPP, we're like right here. So, basically, we will see. We're just coming into this phase. Hopefully soon we'll be done with the spin out into Oilco. So far, there's no SEC filings filed that would indicate that it's going to be its own company. Not to say that this could happen and be later down the road, but yeah, there's nothing there yet. I want to ask you, Terry, you have all the charts and the information and stuff at your disposal right now. When did the company spin out again? When did that spin out occur?
Let me pull up those real quick.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, I have like 3 main questions.
All right, so I have 3 articles pulled up. So okay. I got to find out which one says the spin. I think it's on the earnings. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was my next question actually too.
Okay, so here it is. This is under their third quarter and 9 months 2021 financial and operating results. If you look at the screen, you'll be able to see it. I have it on there for us. And I have it highlighted down here. It says operational and financial highlights. It's the first bullet point for this company, IMPP. It says successful spinoff of Stealth Gas Inc.'s 4 tankers to our newly listed company, Imperial Petroleum. This was concluded on December 3rd, 2021.
So that's a very recent company. That's a very recent spin out then.
Yeah.
Only 3 months old.
Yeah.
Only 3 months old. So that's why. Okay. So yeah, what was their first earnings then? Do we know?
Yeah. So let's see here. Let me just read them through here real quick. It's talking about that. So it says here, revenues of $4.1 million in Q3, making a decrease of 1.7 to Q3 of 2020 due to the sharp drop in revenues stemming from weak spot market. One of our product tankers idle for 39% of the quarter.
But that was 2020 too, when like nobody's doing anything or shipping with COVID. Yeah.
And here it says, declaration of an individual dividend of our 8.75% Series A preferred stock, payable on December 30th to holders of December 27th.
Okay, so they made $4 million in revenue, and they're paying a pretty decent. I mean, for only $4 million in revenue, and they're still paying everybody what?
They actually, they updated it. They first came out and said like 16 cents. But now they updated it, and it's going to be, I think, like 55 cents.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so right here it is.
It's a company, and it's only been around. It's a spin out. It's only been around for 3 months, the spin out. Already they're doling out dividends, right? already, which is interesting because wasn't there like a rumor stating that, oh, you have to wait 6 months before you can give a dividend, but here this company spun out and immediately they give a dividend. So there's like no real waiting time then, right?
Yes.
According to this case.
So this one here, this article just come out 8 days ago on March 15th. It says here, the company and product crude oil seaborne transportation services today announced a dividend of approximately 0.546, so basically 55 cents per share of its 8.75% Series A preferred stock. So for every share that you have, you're going to get 55 cents in dividends. So that's
quarterly. Yeah.
Yeah, quarterly. Yeah. So, and it says here, payable on March 30th to the holders as of March 25th. So, hey, if I buy that tomorrow, it's the 24th, I'm going to get a 55-cent divvy.
You might be tempted to do that.
Yeah, so like, I think
hold that preferred share. You were going to buy it anyways.
I'm going to hang on to it. I may buy a couple. I may buy a couple shares.
Yeah.
And hold them out for the dividend. Let that transfer through. See how it all looks, and then I can sell it out after the dividend. And just as a little test, I could like buy 2 shares, get the dividend, sell one, and hold one just to kind of see how the process works.
Right. I mean, so 50 cents a year or 50 cents a quarter, that translates to what? To something.
Yeah, 55 cents would be $2.20 a year per share. Yeah.
Which is pretty high because right now it's trading at what? Like $21, right?
Let me pull it up here real quick. IMPP 2104.
That's a great return. Terry, you're 2 for 2. Great job today. Give me some lotto numbers, Terry.
Yeah, how about that?
This is like so great. I want some lotto numbers.
Well, that was just purely dumb luck coming across. It was literally if I would have been busy at work, I would have never found it. I would have never found this whole situation. Like I said, I was just browsing and I saw this thing start, there's the meme plays are kind of back. And I saw this stock starting to move at the beginning. And like I saw it jump from like, I don't know, $1.40 to like $1.60. And the arrow was just like straight up. And I'm watching the volume pour into this thing. And I'm like, this thing was jumping like millions of volume like every few seconds. I'm sure I could pull up the actual volume for the day, but it was IMPP stock. Always pull it up on Yahoo Finance to get the volume. But I mean, yeah, so the average volume for IMPP is 33 million. It traded over 116 million today. So you're talking like almost 4x the volume. Traded 4 times the normal volume. So I saw it spiking up. And I'm like, yeah, I had to just, I bought into it. I bought a couple $100 worth of the gamble. I only bought 300 shares. Like I said, I put in that post, it's pure gambling money. Did I expect to get that kind of return? No. I was thinking maybe catch 5%. I didn't think it would run 27%. So, like I said, we all take risks. We're going to win some. We're going to lose some.
Right.
I still haven't sold those shares yet. I still hold them. I'm going to see what it does tomorrow. I may put like a $2 stop loss on it. So that way I'm not, if it keeps running, I'll be okay and I can reevaluate the stop loss. But that gives me like a 10-cent win. Well, what the heck was, I can't remember what the heck it's at. But $2.12 here after hours. So I'll probably go in tomorrow, put a $2 stop loss on it, or maybe do a, I don't know, 5-10% stop loss. That way I'm at least going to get 15% gains at least. So
right, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so like I said, dumb luck. I'm no skilled stock picker, that's for sure. But that was a good play. I wish I would have bought more if I could go back in time.
Regardless of how similar this is, I mean, like there are some similarities. And there's a lot of buzz around this. It's a good stock play, regardless of the similarities or not. On its own merit, It's very good. I'm just about as excited as you are.
It's funny because I went on the Stock Twits, and you know how sometimes you can tell when it's a meme play, when the chat is just constantly moving that you can't even keep up with it. And that's what was going on with IMPP. So literally when I bought it, I took the screenshot, I posted it to my community tab on YouTube. That way my private members could see that I bought it. And before I even got that screenshot posted, that probably took 2 minutes to get it on the YouTube, the stock was already up another 5 or 7%, like that quick, before I could even get it to like on YouTube for the community post. And
wow.
I just saw the chat and stock twits going berserk. Everyone's saying $2, $2, $2. I'm like, there ain't no way it's going to go to $2. Well, it did shoot to $2, no problem. I'm like, wow.
That's incredible. Wow. And so, yeah, it's an oil company, or you said oil company. And then do you know where they operate? Do you know where they operate? This particular IMPP operates?
Their press releases say Athens, Greece.
Opa! Okay.
Yeah.
I don't speak any Greece, but yes.
Greece. So it is like I said, it's like a ship company that I guess transports. But yeah, interesting. I mean, I just thought it was pretty cool. It is oil related, and everyone's saying, everyone was hyped about the oil in the play. I've seen a couple people that have a good bit of followers on Twitter post about IMPP. And once I saw that momentum start to move, and like I said, if I would have been busy, I would have never even got this play. I would have never bought into it. I would have never known about the Series A preferred share they did. So I'm going to be curious if ours goes a similar route where MMTLP, let me see here, because I hate the way that sometimes these things show it. I'm going to try to do it on my phone and maybe, no, I can't because it can't, or would it work? Let me see, would it work? Yes, okay. So I know everyone will believe me, but I just want to test it out real quick. On the Robinhood app, and if you go to IMPPP, 3 Ps, and you go to the 1 year chart, you're going to see it look like this, where it had a 0 value. And then all of a sudden it shot up. As you can see, they announced the dividend and it shot up. So this dividend didn't even get hit. So it looks like I can see
Or maybe it wasn't trading. Or maybe it wasn't trading, and then they announced a dividend, and then all of a sudden it started trading. Because that could be
on December 3rd, it was 0, like on trading value. And then on December 6th, again, probably would have been over the weekend, was $18.70.
I wonder if that's when it started trading.
Yeah, let me look here.
That's the first dividend too, was that time. So that's really, I mean, MMTLP was a $0 value when it first came on, and then it shot up, right?
You know what? Yeah, on this press release, everyone's gonna see it. So where I just read to you earlier about the spin-off of the Stealth Gas Inc.'s 4 tankers, that was concluded on December 3rd, so that's why it had a 0 value. So it probably would have hit that Monday or Tuesday.
Sense.
They assigned a value to those assets that they got rid of the Stealth Gas. So that's going to be similar to Meta spinning out the assets of Torchlight, which, see, originally these preferred shares were to have a 0 value. But we got the market makers that put these MMTLP on the market, so they do have a value as of right now. Just nothing official from Meta Materials of what they're going to spin out, officially sell the whole thing, keep it up and running, let them run it up, see if they're going to produce oil out of it. Yeah, so I'm super excited. I think we're going to have a very similar situation. I don't want people to feel that if they announce a dividend that you're stuck with just collecting the quarterly dividend. You should have the option to physically sell that. If you want that cash, you can sell it. My plan would be to maybe keep half and sell half. Let the dividends roll in, because I've always wanted to start dividends. So I was saying I'd be happy if I could get, if they're going to pay me like for this one here, 55 cents every 3 months for 1 share. That's a decent amount if you let that just keep building up. Now, you would have to pay taxes on that dividend, but you're not paying taxes on the whole gain of the share. So that maybe would benefit someone like Greg McCabe or John Berta that has millions of shares, that if they're just getting dividends, maybe they can reinvest. I don't know. Maybe there's a way they can get the dividends tax-free as well. I don't know. They got the big high-dollar lawyers. Maybe they can work some magic.
I think if it's in like an IRA or something, if the shares are in an IRA and it gives dividends, I think those aren't taxed, but I'm not too sure. I'd have to talk to somebody who has more experience. If any of you guys out there have more experience, like you have an IRA that has a dividend producing stock, are you taxed on these dividends or not? Because the whole IRA itself isn't taxed because you're not taking that money out. It stays in the IRA, right?
You know what? You could be right on that. I think. No, I'm not 100% sure either, but I'm just thinking you're right because IRAs, you don't get taxed until you take out and realize a gain.
Right.
So even though that dividend's going in there, you haven't realized it because you haven't cashed it out.
This guy says, Alexander says, they're taxed. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You can't escape the tax man.
But still better to pay taxes on the dividends than to pay taxes on like a $26 per share. Would you rather pay taxes on $26 a share or pay taxes on maybe on a whole year, let's say $2 in dividends?
Right. Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's a big difference. You may pay tax on $2 in dividends or a $26 dividend, you know. Well, in this case, you're gonna pay taxes on $2.20 a year on your dividend, or if you sell it, you're gonna pay taxes on $21 per share. That's a big difference. Yeah, I see Alexander posted, and actually, he's talking about JCS actually. That was a stock I covered before about a special dividend. And ironic enough, yes. And ironic enough, JCS just did like another reverse split because their stock got brutalized in the market going down. I think they recently did like a 4-to-1 split or something like that. But we'll check that out here later in the stream as well. So yeah, when I found that information out, I'm getting on Meta. I'm going to their, January 14th post here. And, where it says here that the company oil and gas assets operations, we indicate the 4 wells must be drilled in the Oro Grande project to, 2021, able to company to hold the lease for sale or spin out as of December 13th. And I saw that and I'm like, that's like what Ken has said in a couple different interviews that, because I think he said in that recent interview where he did a presentation and they had time for like 2 or 3 questions. And of course, one of the questions is when divvy. That's the first question that's always asked in any kind of metamaterials presentation is when divvy. So I know they're probably tired of it as well. And Ken said that it would be distributed later this year. So that keeps me very positive that he wouldn't have said that would be distributed later this year. Now, I'm okay with waiting. I think we're just all to the point where we want to know that it's sold, or we know we're going to get an official date or an amount or some kind of clarity. This mystery of the whole thing just needs to end. It just needs to come to an end.
Right. I agree. Yeah. Hopefully the presentation will cover like if it's been sold, if it hasn't, are there people interested in it, and I talked about my other video, like, I think that they're going to talk about the 2021 drill plan, which was explained in the 10K. Actually, it's explained in the 2020 Torchlight 10K, the 2022 drill plan, which is 5 wells.
Yeah.
By the end of 2022, they might explain a 2022 drill plan, depending on how long it stays. That would certainly add value to the property, though. That would add a lot of value to the property, drilling out and push up that maximum value.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this in terms of maximum value. I mean, you're looking at sale or spin out. Things are heating up around there. Like I said, Shell is moving to the north of the Oro Grande in Mexico, the north part of that. And then Discovery, which is a little exploratory oil and gas company, kind of like Torchlight, they are going to South Hudspeth County over by Sierra Blanca, south of I-10. And so, yeah, it's pretty interesting how that area is starting to, like, get noticed.
Yeah.
And I think going into the future, we're going to see a lot of development there, which is great, right? It's great. But yeah, things are heating up. I think, Terry, no matter what way you look at it, it's going to be exciting. Like you said, it's going to be very exciting. We're at an exquisite time right now. In terms of everything, oil hasn't been this high since, a lot of people can't remember. It hasn't been this high since 2008, the Great Recession. That's the last time oil was this high. We didn't have quite the inflation in 2008, but oil was certainly very high in 2008. Gas prices, although weren't this high in 2008 as well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, I've been trying to like not drive anywhere, you know. It's like, I don't drive anywhere. I mean, I'm out in the country, so I kind of have to time everything anyways. But even then, it's like, you know, when your truck gets only 12 miles to the gallon, don't drive anywhere.
Yep. All right. Just welcoming people. I was just welcoming in people there. Like I said, this is this is just me thinking out loud. People saying like with MMTLP. I don't know if people watch our buddy. I know you watch because I saw you comment on our buddy Tony from Market Moves, his recent video he just did, where his video of his thoughts, and he talks to his friends and he makes videos so that way he can have his friends go back and watch them because they forgot. Like him and his friends have conversations about stocks. That's what they do. He'll go make a video on it and they want to go reference it later. He can just say, "Oh, I forgot what you said." So he's like, "Just go watch my video." He makes videos about what him and his friends talk about. And like he said, a lot of his friends say that he invests into more riskier stocks. But with that being said, there's always a risk that you could lose 100% of your investment. But on the flip side, you can make 1,000% on that same investment.
Right.
So like Tony said, he's only putting in money, like as we all probably are, we're only putting in money that we're willing to lose, that we just like going to the casino, whether you're buying. Yeah. Look during this whole crash, stocks like Teladoc went from like $350 down to $60. What a stock like PayPal going from 300 down to like 100. Now it's back to like 110, 115. A stock like Square, 200 down to 100. You got even Facebook. You see stocks like even large cap, not even these small cap, large cap stocks get demolished in earnings. And you're talking like, what if you're putting your hard-earned money into these big name companies that when you invest in those, you're supposed to feel safe. You know, you're supposed to be able to sleep at night and feel safe. Well, earnings come, those stocks tank 25 to 40%. But there is one stock that I've been investing in since it has came out. I'm positive on it. I've never been read on it, and that's MMTLP. Since it's been trading. I have never been. If you
paid 0 for it, you've never been read. Right?
I've never been read on MMTLP. I was buying it. I think the first purchases I did, when I did my first videos on it, I think I was buying it like 70 cents, maybe 80 cents.
That's awesome.
So I didn't go load the boat on it at that price because back when it first came out, it was very risky. So I was buying a couple hundred each time, throwing a couple hundred into it. And as it shot up to $3, I wasn't buying it at that price because I wanted to get more knowledge on it. And now that I have more knowledge on it, I feel like I'm evaluating my own risk in what I'm buying. I feel safe in buying it. Got a lot of emails from brokerages confirming it's the real deal. They have them. That's all I need. Like I said, if I can't trust my brokerage, which is Fidelity, they've been around forever. If I can't trust them to hold my stock and pay out dividends, I'm selling every single share I have, and I'm not investing in the stock market. Simple as that. If I can't trust my brokerage, then I'm not going to be buying stocks.
And this actually works not only in the stock market for these stocks, but also the livestock market, because I raise sheep. I played the livestock market, which is where the stock market comes from, right?
You played the real stock market.
I played the actual stock market, which is just as unpredictable almost as the real stock market. And you'll have times where like the price just crashes like cattle did.
Yep.
2 years ago, it's just crashing for no reason. And it just kept going down and down and down and down and down. And there's futures and stuff, and you can, and there's a lot of the futures market determine the actual market price you get at the auction. and as well as futures on box beef, box lamb. A box is 100 pounds. Futures on that will determine market prices as well as demand. Now, some of the sheep I sell don't really like go to market in the sense like people are eating them. Some of them people just buy. Some of them, like, there will be game ranchers if they have a particularly nice set of horns or their particular color. There's game ranches that will scope these auctions out for your sheep. And if you have a game ranch there that day, you'll get a terrific price. They see a sheep that you like, great. If they see 2 game ranches there, price goes, they start bidding and it goes up, right? If no game ranches are there that day, you thought, oh, I get $800 for this nice looking sheep last week, really nice set of horns, and then you take a similar sheep, oh, I only got like 150 on it because no game ranchers showed up, right? You're paying the meat price at that point for that animal. Now, not to say that it'll go for meat, they're not dummies. This guy who just bought your sheep for 150 can call up, it's called the BBIG, and say, hey, I know you're looking for some black, nice bighorn sheep. I got one for you. I'll set it to you for $250.
Yeah.
Deal. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's the real stock market. It works the same. Sometimes I'll get great price for my sheep. I'll get like, $350, $380 a pound. And sometimes this is live weight. And then sometimes you go there and you think, okay, market's hot. And then like you get like, $280 and you're like, and then they take their cut. They try to make it so that you always get top dollar, right? The broker you take it to, basically the auction house.
Yeah.
They want top dollar because they get more commission on it. It's based on like the old stock market before all this online stuff where you actually paid your broker a percentage fee.
Yeah.
Right? So it was in his best interest to buy and sell for you at the highest price because he got the most money. Same thing with that like real stock market. But yeah, it's crazy. Also, like I said, it depends. You could sell sheep on Craigslist to say, okay, I can probably get a higher price. Seriously, I sell.
See, I learned something new.
Yeah, you can't sell on Facebook, and they tried to make a social network called MeWe, MEWE, that you could sell livestock on, because Facebook banned livestock. Like, you can't sell livestock, which is silly. They're like, oh, it's animal abuse. It's like, I'm trying to sell some livestock. I'm not selling like a pet, selling livestock. So, you sell on Facebook, you can do like a closed group and then just post a picture and then maybe another picture with the price so it doesn't ping the algo. But I sell, some people, like, it's so dry here, it wouldn't work. But last year, I was selling starter herds. People move out to a country, small ranch, want a small group of sheep because then you get the tax exemption, property tax exemption if you have like livestock on your property, X amount of livestock. Sheep are really good for that. Or if somebody just wants a lawnmower for the season, because I'm like, it's Joe Biden, the new Green Deal, mow your lawn. They just set them up and they'll just mow the lawn. They fertilize your lawn. They look nice mowing your lawn. So some people will buy it for that aspect because then they basically pay you to cut the grass, and then you can either sell the sheep after or have them breed, and then they'll multiply, and then that's basically like a stock, right? You start with a few sheep, and then they kind of multiply out. You hold some back, and then you're selling sheep all the time. That's the original stock market.
I wanted to point out a funny comment here from Keith Lewis. He said, "Win sheep divvy."
Yeah, I saw that. I've just seen it now. Yeah, win sheep divvy.
Win the sheep divvy. I was randomly thinking when you were talking about that, about people ask, like, why is these companies selling the preferred share if it's supposed to be valued more? I think there's these, I don't know, let's say the people that, when I buy through Fidelity, it shows that Knights Equity, which, yes, they're an unregistered broker, which they're still allowed to trade. They confirmed, just like it says on the SEC, that they're unregistered since 2012. But they have those shares on hand at Fidelity to confirm that they're going to force that brokerage to pay them when that is, announced. So I feel good about that. But what happens is, when this MMTLP first came on the market, these brokerages, like probably Knights Equity and other places, was buying these for probably pennies. If not even buying them for whatever reason at cheap prices. That's why the price went from literally 0 to $3 in a few days because people saw in their burgers, they sold it for a penny, 2 pennies, maybe 10 cents. And now they're selling it for $1.50, $2, whatever the price is. But also I noticed that there's probably a lot of these big brokerages are probably swinging this daily because of the bid and the ask price, how much that difference usually is. So like if you go in and say, if MMTLP is trading at $1.50, they may try to sell it to me for $1.52 unless I set that limit order. So right there, they're making 2 cents on every share. Now say they do that constantly. What if you got day traders out there swinging MMTLP because it has momentum and things like that? Not only are they making the bid and the ask on it, but then they'll try to get the price up. And what do they do when people start buying it? They bring it back down. They bring MMT back down when it hits close to 2. It's kind of been where it's been at. It hit that $3 point at one point, and now these shorts or whoever, they don't let MMTLP get above $2. As soon as it hits $2, they short it or whatever they need to do. They bring it back down to under $2. And I don't know if there's people that sell out of it or what they're doing, but somehow they drive the price back down to $1.50, sometimes $1.30, $1.40, and then it'll slowly make its way back up and then just keep repeating the course. So if you got this hedge fund of millions of shares doing this, they could be making good money just day trading this stock, not only on the buying and the selling of it, but then the bid and the ask price too. You're talking a million shares at pennies on each share. That could add up a lot for these companies to rake in a lot of money, and they're probably going to know when they have to officially hold them. So they're going to buy them all at the last minute, and the price will run up at that point. So that's just me thinking out loud of probably what's going to happen. This is all going to go from this $1.50, $2 up to where you're going to see that straight shot up. That's what's going to happen. Because technically this was to be at 0, but it's not because it's just traded on the market. So you're going to see then, boom, up to whatever price they announce, and that's where it's going to stay.
Right on. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends too. Like if it has to go to Oil Co. first, regardless of what happens. Yeah. All MMTLP has to go into Oil Co. That's like the big thing. Regardless of what path it takes, it all has to go into Oil Co. That's like, it makes accounting sense for Meta. They have to, before they can produce a drop of oil, even to demonstrate what the Oro Grande can do, as I talked about, all has to go into Oil Co. If the presentation is after that, if like it goes in Oil Co, then they do the special dividend presentation to show you what you're getting, then the price is going to be 0, right? It's going to stay the same, right? Because it's in Oil Co right now. But if they do it, before it goes into Oil Co and they have a run up, MMTLP could run up because everybody's going to, might pile in. It depends how the presentation goes and when it is, right? Like, there's 2 possibilities there I'm seeing.
Because we've also heard a lot of people say that they give, once they announce the dividend, they have 10 days. So that's where this MMTLP could run in those 10 days. Once they announce it, they got 10 days to make up their mind, I guess, what they're going to do.
Actually, if it's on the NASDAQ, though, this is on the OTC, though. MMTLP's on the OTC. Yeah, that's different. So they could go into Oil Co, and then it could, something, could be announced then, or there could be a presentation. I think we're going to see a presentation first.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could, it's on the OTC, so there's that probability where it could just go into Oil Co and then they tell you. You never know.
Yep.
Or you could see a really good run up, yeah, depending, if they announce something good at the presentation. If the presentation's like lackluster, then it might just stay flat the whole time.
Yeah, I hope not. I don't know if we have if Meta has good history of these presentations.
That's why I'm hoping that there'll be an oil guy. That's why I'm like, please let there be like oil people giving this presentation. Like George is a metamaterial man.
Yep. He's
not an oil person, and he said that. Ken said that. We're drilling not because we want to be an oil company, but because we have to with leasing compliance. They're not oil people. Let's hear from some oil people. I hope the presentation's good. Maybe we'll see who the team is. Maybe we'll get stuff from the team.
Yep.
What the training's been like, the potential
Maybe we
production.
can get someone from NextBridge to do the presentation if that's going to be the company taking it over. Yeah, maybe they should be the ones to announce what they discovered.
Right.
That would be great. That would be fantastic.
Right. It would be fantastic. So yeah, there's so many ways this could go. I mean, that's what I've been doing this whole time, is like exploring the possible, outcomes of this wheel, right? Like, okay, like if this, and then if anything happens, we have a plan because we've already discussed like the flow chart.
Yep.
So we have a plan. But yeah, either way, it's very exciting, Terry. Very exciting times, and I can't believe that shipping company on $4 million revenues doling out 50-cent dividends. That's incredible.
That is unreal. Also, that is unreal.
It's a shipping company with oil, right? Origin, and it's in Greece. So I wonder if they're going to be freighting around, oil and gas in Europe. I don't think gas, but at least something to Europe, right? Something.
Yeah. Whenever you have free time, just go. If you just go to Google and type IMPP stock, it'll pull up their website over on the right-hand side. You can go read their, so you can do a little bit more. Yeah, you can go do a little bit more reading on all their press releases and see what you come up with. But yeah, it was pretty exciting to see another company with a Series A preferred share, because that's just not a term that you hear of too often. Is a Series A preferred? It's just
that's trading, yeah.
That's trading. You don't see it that often. You just don't see. And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my Lord!"
Right?
Like what?
Right.
Another Series A preferred share out there?
It happens. It happens.
All right.
It's not too common, but it happens. And now that once we get over and its life after MMTLP, this won't be our first rodeo. We'll see all sorts of. We'll see this everywhere now, probably. But
it probably will be.
Yeah, once you see it, it's like everywhere. Like sort of like once you learn what a word is or what something is, or that's all you see.
We'll be experts on spin outs, spin offs. Special dividends.
I have a story to tell. So before I moved to Texas, I lived in California, and during the 2008 crash, there was a lot of houses that went into foreclosure, right? There's a lot of houses that went into foreclosure. And at the time, me and my husband, we were renting a house, and it was this tiny house in California, a 12,000 square foot house, $1,700 a month that you're paying on a 1,200 square foot house. Wow. And you're in there with like, 5 people. I slept in the garage. So I lived in the garage for a while. And then the air conditioning. Yeah, it's like 5 people. We're all crammed in this house. It's kind of fun, but yeah, I was like, "Woo, I lived in the garage."
Yeah.
So then, we were moving, and then we're like, well, when you rent, there's no equity. But now if we could somehow get the money to get a house, let's try it. And then that's when interest rates are coming down.
Mm-hmm.
There's a program that came out, okay, just at that time. It was the Fannie Mae Home Path loan. And it's a 90% loan to value. So you put down, it's what was it? It was 97% loan to value.
Wow.
You only put down 3% down payment. But,
yeah.
And it had no private mortgage insurance because you were getting a loan through Fannie Mae. So if you foreclosed, Fannie Mae kept the house essentially, right? So you didn't need any PMI. You're buying a house that Fannie Mae owns with the Fannie Mae loan. But nobody else had done it before. None of the realtors, none of the loan officers went through Wells Fargo because they said they offered it. And they're like, I guess, but we don't know how this works. So it was a lot of like presenting to the loan officers, like stuff like this. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of like, they look at your debt to equity, and I'm like, let's talk about, liquidable assets. He thinks, something. I'm like, oh, cars. Let's sell our cars. Oh, we have,
They want to know what you had for breakfast too if you're buying a house.
Right. Yeah. They want to know anything that you could flip quickly on Craigslist or whatever. It was California's a Craigslist. Right. I'm like, that's an ad. But afterwards, Terry, after all that was said and done, what happened was the loan officer said he was now a Fannie Mae expert after one.
Yeah.
And the realtor said that she was a Fannie Mae expert after one. And like they went on pretty good careers after that. But it's kind of like this. I equate that to. It's like this new thing. Nobody knows about it.
So what
like
what you're saying is after this whole situation, we are going to be officially Series A preferred share experts.
Right. On like if they can trade or not. How can they trade? Okay, we know this and this. Yeah, we'll be the experts after this. And I think about that now. And I kind of feel like that. Yeah, the realtors have no idea. She got confused because she had basically buy the house as is from Fannie Mae. And it was a good time because house prices were pennies on the dollar. And a lot of the houses had ripped out kitchens and stuff, which is fine because then I can put in my own appliances. I can kind of make it. Although we were poor by that point and had no more money left. So we kind of like hobcobbled it together. Our kitchen is, it was like half done. And by the time we left, it was still, the appliances were nice, but the cabinets were all mismatched and stuff, but I could just kind of cobble together. But yeah, it was, so yeah, you bought the house as is and very low down payment, no PMI, which saved a ton of money, but yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's what I feel like.
We just had a person do a funny comment in here. He said, #buy the bird.
I like that. Buy the bird. Oh, it's Rich Wojak. Yeah.
Yes, Rich. Buy the bird. So here's a funny question. I've been asked this a few times, and I just wanted to hear. I'm going to ask you this question, and you can give your answer. Once this is all solved and finished, would you ever do another stock similar to this with the whole merger, dividend, Series A preferred share? Would you do the whole process again with a whole new company if it's similar in this situation?
Me? Probably. I mean, then I'd be like you said, we'd be the Fannie Mae experts. We'd be Fannie Mae experts. There'd be a lot of people who don't know. Be like, look, I've done this before. This ain't my first rodeo. I've done this before. I think about that meme, like, safety. I've only done this once before. Safety not guaranteed. Yeah. Right? There's risks. Mm-hmm. You could lose it all. Safety not guaranteed. I guess I would. If that particular opportunity was good enough for investment, right? It might be a terrible investment, but if it presented itself and I'm like, no, this is a good deal, right? Like, oh no, this is a good deal. Kind of like the Fannie Mae house, like, oh no, this is a great deal. Or you see a car, you have an old lady who has like,
an old classic car for sale that she barely drove to church every week.
Yeah, like she bought it new and she only barely drove it and her husband died and now she's like, well, I'm getting too old to drive. And you're like, this is a great deal, lady. And she's like, she doesn't really know the cost of things and oh, here you go. Yeah, exactly. The pristine classic car that she bought new has all the service records.
So here's what I would do actually, and my answer is yes, I probably would because as you said, we have knowledge on the situation now, so I feel more comfortable doing it. But here's how I would play this one definitely out. It depends on how early you get the information. Now, I know the Torch merger, the Meta was like June 28th, I want to say. I can't remember when that official...
It was like June. It was on a Friday. I want to say it was June 25th.
Yeah, because they were supposed to close Monday. They closed it early on Friday, which is how they trapped the shorts. Mm-hmm. Shorts never had time to close because they thought they could do it on Monday. Well, George surprised them and closed it on Friday. So as we saw with that price, Torch ran from like cents up to like $10, $11.
Yeah.
Now I would, of course, depending if I could get where the price is at, you get these. So it's always key to be early on these press releases.
Yes.
And if somehow you're able to keep up with press releases and be lucky, like how I caught that IMPP today, dumb luck, how I call it that. But if you happen to get lucky and get early on the gun, and you could start buying up that and set limits to where you're going to sell and take profits. And if you're going to hold out long term, just have the mentality, I'm going to be holding this for a 1 year to 3 years. Because we all know with Series A preferred share spin outs or spin offs, it's never going to go to plan. They can give you a date, but that can always change depending on the buyer and depending on what class of asset you're dealing with. So if it's another oil company, we know what to expect. There's going to be delays. Oil price can fluctuate, good or bad.
I want to, keep going.
So I was just saying, like, torch ran up from like $1, well, 50 cents to $1. Then it went up to like $3, $4, $5. Then it shot up to $10. I would have loaded a certain amount of gambling money into the play. I probably would have sold like, I don't know, 10% each time it shot up to a certain price. And maybe say, I'm going to keep 50% to hold for the long term, but I'm going to sell 50% at 10% at a time as it shoots up to these certain, dollar amounts.
Sure, that's a very good way to do it, actually. Definitely. For sure. Or, depending, like, so I'd be tempted like to sell it when it's more higher and try to buy back in when it's lower. But
I mean, like, I do like I do want to express, I feel terrible for the people that helped do the Torch merger. I feel for them because they could have sold it.
And I'm so happy I bought in so early too.
Yeah, like they could have bought in at $10. Well, they could have. I mean, they could have sold at 10. Is what I meant to say.
Right.
They could have sold at 10.
The dividend.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, they could have sold at 10. Cashed out, and a few months later, it was October, is when MMTLP started. They could have bought it for $1 to $2.
Right, but that's the insult where it's coming from is because MMTLP wound up trading again. That's basically where the insult comes from. But definitely, if nobody knew, like you said, unexpected things happen with these, right? Unexpected things happen. You just have to roll with it. You have to adapt. You just have to adapt. I see it personally, Terry, as it's not lemons meets lemonade because I can buy more of those divvies. I can buy more divvies. That's how I see it personally.
Like I say, I'm a supporter of it. I understand people's frustration, but that shouldn't be taken out on us. We're not the ones that put these on the market. We're just taking advantage of a situation. That's
right. I see an opportunity.
Yeah, there's an opportunity out there, and there's a lot of newer investors. There's been a lot of newer investors coming into metamaterials. And as they start investing and educating themselves on metamaterials, they realize, well, what the heck is MMTLP? So then they come in and start asking questions about that. Oh, darn, well, it's been too late. I can't buy it. Well, actually, under this unique situation, you actually can buy it. And it's like, so it is nice that it gets the new investors excited because we want those people excited because we want them to take a portion of their dividend and reinvest it back. Like, that is the whole master plan of this, is to get as many preferred shares because, like I said, I believe MMTLP has huge upside potential. Now, my price target for MMAT is $6.50. That's my personal price target, $6.50 after the dividend is resolved, possible buying up. Now, if we get a squeeze involved, it could go wherever it wants to go, $20, $30, $50. We see Newegg squeeze. There's a lot of stocks that squeeze from like $10 up to freaking $20 to $50.
Yeah, ORPH, remember that last year went from $5 to $77.
Yeah, so MMAT has that capability. But in my personal opinion, it's only going to happen when the dividend's out. That's just my personal opinion. There's a lot of people that money is tied up in MMAT, is a good way of wording it, that they can't afford to really buy much more because they maybe, and I was kind of guilty of that. I bought in kind of heavy. I bought a little too much too fast, and now that the price is down low, it's like, oh, darn, So I just see more potential in MMTL because I think what's going to happen is MMTLP is going to move first before MMAT. So I'm hoping to get the money for MMTLP, take a percentage of that, and put it back in MMAT. That's my plan.
Right.
Like I say,
And I don't see why anybody would be upset about that. Why would if you did it with any other stocks here, any other thing? I'm going to take money from IMPP, and I'm going to put it in a Meta. Woo! People will go, yeah. I'm going to take money from CI. I'm going to roll it in a Meta. Woo! Yeah. You know, that's any other thing. People would be elated about it.
And if I look at it too, it's diversity, because investing MMAT is a metamaterial stock. Investing in MMTLP is an oil and gas stock.
Yeah,
it's diverse.
Exactly.
I mean, I have all kind of stocks that I've talked about on my channel. I mean, Genius Brands, that's a children's freaking networking company. I mean, I try to diversify
GGPI, electric cars.
Yeah, I do GGPI, electric cars. So many different stocks that bought DraftKings. Gambling stock, you know, they're all over the place. DraftKings is well known. So yeah, I mean, just trying to diversify. All right, so I think it's time we could just start going over some of the questions down here.
Yeah.
So I'll let you pick a couple out and just start answering them out.
Oh no, actually, you do it. You're a bit faster than I am right now.
All right.
So
the first thing I got to point out is Andrew saying, "Holy Toledo, only 48 likes. What the heck?" Yeah, guys, so if you're watching this, give a freaking thumbs up, man. We need more likes on this stream, absolutely. So give a thumbs up. That's the first question we got to get out there. When is the thumbs up? When is the thumbs up? All right, let's see here. I'm going back. Trying to go back. Yeah, this is a good time for anyone to put in a good question. All right, so here we go. Yep. Rich saying, is there a chance George, he says GP, doesn't want to lose the $75 million off his balance sheet?
No, there's no chance, George, because he doesn't want the oil and gas assets on the MetaMaterials balance sheets. MetaMaterials company, not an oil and gas company, right? Yep. So it kind of doesn't make full sense for this to be like a butterfly. No, I was right the first time. Be like this butterfly and metamorphosize into the metamaterial company it's supposed to be. You know, we metamorphosize into that with the oil and gas assets still in the book. And also just, you know, once if these, you know, to sell it or whatever, prove the value of this to get maximum value the oil has to produce, that can't be on Meta's books, because also once the oil and gas assets start to produce, that value, that 70 million on the books value, all of a sudden goes up quite a bit, a bit. Mm-hmm. Because instead of those being a probable reserve underdeveloped with $0 book value, it's now producing reserve. Granted, still underdeveloped, but a producing reserve. So that book value increases dramatically. And if Meta had that on their books, that could ping some bing, bing, bing. Taxmans are going to be snooping around. And Taxman's going to be like, that's why the sudden this company, you know, go from making $4 million last year. Now all of a sudden they have this, you know, billions of dollar assets on their books. Yeah. You know, what happened, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's why this has to spin out. That's why I don't think George wants this on it. And like I said, he's a metamaterials guy. He's a science guy. You know, and I don't know what George likes, right? I don't know. I've never really talked to George personally.
There is one thing I do know George likes: music, because he posts music on StockTwits. He started the whole music trend on StockTwits for MMAT. One of my buddies here in the chat, Wancho, he has been in and out, but he says he's been kidding me. He's been poking fun of me here in the chat. He's talking about China stocks. I don't like really investing in China stocks too much because there's a lot of risk in China stocks. So he always
talk about risky,
He always that's more. And to me, China stocks is more risky than MMTLP in my personal opinion.
Right.
Because people's like, you know, why aren't you buying Neo? Why aren't you buying Baba? And like,
look at Didi. Look how Didi went.
Exactly.
They took it off the market. Yeah.
So I think MMTLP is a more safe bet than one of those, in my personal opinion. Like I said, it's just my personal opinion. I could be. It's my opinion, so it can't be right or wrong.
It's your money. Ultimately, it's your money, your choice, right? Your money, your choice. So, your money, your choice. You do what you want. Everybody has different risk tolerance. Just because we're a little bit more risky and rebellious doesn't mean that you have to be either.
Yep.
You do what you need to do. You know, that's fine. To each their own, right?
Yep. We got a good question here. I'm going to see if you want to tackle it. Our buddy Bezos says, explain the callable MMTLP shares. I think he's referring to the TD Ameritrade. It shows
so this is a TD Ameritrade thing or a Schwab thing too, because they're kind of like the same thing now. So the shares aren't technically callable in that sense. Me and this person on StockTwits goes by GG76. GG76 is very much like they will dig, and we both dug through filings together. I trust that person like above all else. GG76 on StockTwits. Like if a filing comes out and you don't quite know what it means, you go to this person. They are like on it. They actually used to work as an investor relations person, so they have experience with this. That's what I said. They're like my guru on what does a filing mean.
Yeah.
If I don't have any questions, or I need help digging through filings, they're there. We've done this like a weekend thing, spent 6 hours on it. Anyhow, the shares, we went through this together, aren't callable. There were things in when they did when they released the Series A preferred share to begin with. There was similar language, and basically like once the share the actual dividend is given, the shares will basically be extinguished or they'll disappear. But there's nothing callable. A true callable share, Terry, has a callable value to it. Usually it's at least $25. Sometimes it's $100, but it has a true callable value. If the share isn't callable, the par value is going to be very small on it, and it technically won't be callable. This is only callable because it's been set up in a way where the dividend is doled out. And at first, it's going to be a share in Oil Co. regardless. The predecessing share disappears, essentially. So that's what they mean in this regard. But it officially is not callable on the filings.
Gotcha. I'm just pulling up just someone here commented about WTI crude, so I'm pulling up oilprice.com. And WTI crude is currently $116.06 as we're live streaming.
That's oil.
Oil is crazy.
oil. It's black gold. Well, now it's like actual black gold again.
Yes, it is.
Like I said, a lot of these people, the newer investors, the younger investors, they don't remember when oil was this high before, right? And nobody's ever seen gas this high before, so it's quite interesting.
We did
we did
have a question here. Greg in the chat asked a question. Do we think the dividend's going to be, I guess, paid out this year?
I think it's going to be paid out this year. Yes, I agree. I think it's going to be paid out this year. It might not be as soon as you would like it, but it's going to be, paid out. Also, keep in mind, the more that we march forward and the more that oil stays up, that 12-month average for oil goes up.
Yeah.
The NPV value, net present value, goes up. And that all aids to the price of our assets. If the property hasn't sold yet, it's not property, it's the asset. If the assets haven't sold yet, great. Compare the sale price now, Terry, to back in December or November, right? That your asset is just appreciated so much more, right? And you're like, whew, good thing we didn't sell that. You're like, oh, I wanted to, but maybe good thing we didn't sell, I'm
just pulling up Tony's chart real quick because people's asking about Tony's chart. And I've said, too, looking at Tony's chart, because he does all the formulas here on the left-hand side. He has the chart here if it's a non-taxable event. And his price here on the chart for $115 barrel of oil is $87. And 120 is 92. Now, like I said, that all depends on if everything goes exactly to this chart.
Right. And there could be, some wiggle room for negotiations and stuff. Yeah. And if they're going by a 12-month average, which some do, the more that time marches on, we're good to go. That's why I say 60 is like my high. I go to 29 to 46. 60 max upside, but
I made a promise to you.
March is on. But the bird suit.
$20 divvy. I'm getting a bird suit.
Bird suit, $20 divvy bird suit. Woo!
And we might be able even to negotiate if it's just a little bit under that as well. We might be able to negotiate a deal in there. We got a little wiggle room on the negotiation for the bird suit.
Yeah, gotta make concessions.
You know, as I've even said, as crazy as this sounds, and it would totally devalue the property. And in my honest, people hate this when I say it, but even like a $5 dividend, I'm happy. I mean, for my average cost, how am I going to argue if I'm getting like a 400% return on my money?
Right.
Am I going to be upset? Not. How could you be upset? I just got 400% on an investment. What other stock are you getting 400% investment?
Right.
If I'm buying at $1.50, it shoots to $5. That's a hell of a return.
That is. That's a heck of a return. That's like CEI, right?
Yeah,
it got to like $4.50. It's like from 96 cents to $4.50 in a matter of a month.
Yeah, and I think we got a good comment down here. And Kermit is saying we need $10, and I agree with that. I think honestly, we need $10 minimum just for the fact that's where Torch was at when it ended. That's where people could have sold Torch at $10.
Yes.
So they gotta have this dividend above $10 minimum. That's right. I don't care what kind of deal, what kind of negotiation it is. If this dividend is not over $10, it's gonna burn the people that held through the merger, is what it's gonna do. Because they could have sold their shares for $10.
Oh, I agree. A $10 dividend, by the way, Terry, the sale price on that asset. Now remember, Torchlight gets 66.5% of that sale price. Yeah. And then the 10% holdback dividend. If you backwards the math, a $10 share would be $2.756 billion sale. So that would be that would be the sale price of a property. On a $10 dividend. So if like a news article comes out, oh, the Oro Grande, you know, for this will be equivalent for this sale. It's like, you know, we can start like doing them. Okay, wait, it's selling for this much, you know, oh, let's do some calculations. Yeah. I will say Colgate Energy, you know, they were going to do an IPO, but they have been offered that $5 billion sale price. And also, Terry, you talked about spin outs. There's been points where companies have tried to do an actual IPO spin out. They got close and at the last minute pulled the plug because an offer came in to buy out the company. And so it's even though the paperwork might be in process, things can still happen unexpectedly. Like somebody else swoops in last minute. I want to buy this.
It sounds like purchasing a house. You have that agreement up to settlement date. The buyer can back out. Right. Exactly. And, one person here made a funny comment, and you're gonna get a kick out of this. D Nels 800. I bet Nancy Pelosi knows the dividend price.
Oh no, that's
Did you see the recent thing where Nancy Pelosi's bought Tesla call options back when it was, I don't know what price it was. They bought the Tesla call options back at $750 or $800, and now they're over $1,000.
That was like after Biden, right before he came out the New Green Deal too. They did that before.
They bought those Tesla call options. So,
and then Biden's like, New Green Deal.
Yep. And we just need to follow Nancy Pelosi. We'll be good to go.
Right, the Pelosi index. Right.
Yeah. And we had that. I have it saved here on my desktop, so let me pull it up.
You have a Pelosi index?
Well, no. I have the. There was the Pelosi's husband, his company. Bought MetaMaterials.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have it right here, actually.
Oh, yeah. The husband, that was actually a thing. I remember that because...
Here it is. I got it on the screen.
Everybody was excited. So like, woo, it's going to be big now because they bought the MetaMaterials.
Yep. Yeah, right here was the tweet. MMAT Alliance Bernstein officially has holdings in MetaMaterials valuing over $500,000. Paul Pelosi owns a huge stake in the Alliance Bernstein, and after the company invested in ticker AMC, the stock rose over 50%.
Yes.
And down here on the Fintel, it shows they did the purchase on July 30th. So maybe they're holding out for the dividend. Well, no, they wouldn't have had the dividend back then. But,
No, they
but you
wouldn't
know
have
what,
the
though?
dividend
That could have been just the effector or file date. They could have had before.
Oh, you're right.
I'd have to go into Fintel and pull that up.
Did they buy options or actual stocks? If they bought options, but the options weren't out. They were out, yeah.
I'd have to pull it up. I think it's just strictly stock.
Strictly stock, gotcha.
I can.
Well, if they bought in July and they didn't sell, they're down. They're bleeding just like we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a bag holder. MMAT. I'm not afraid to admit it. My average price I've told people is $3.88. So
that's pretty good. That's pretty
good. I
need
a huge dividend to boost this MMAT back up because, I mean, we'd have to almost 100% from here for me to get back to even.
Right.
We're going to need 100% for me to even get back to even at this point.
Sure.
On MMAT at 388. I mean, you know, we got a ways to go.
That's why we have the divvy hope.
That's why we got the divvy hope. I'm hoping to bail out of that. I mean, I'm still holding what I got.
It's a hot market. It's wonderful how like this.
Oh
worked
no,
and,
Fintel. Oh, it don't go back that far.
Ah, nuts.
Oh, I don't think it goes back to September. It does. I don't think it'll let me go back any farther. Oh, you got to be kidding me under the buyers.
I'm sorry, we cannot complete that request.
Yes. I did watch your video where you did the I guess the telemarketer voice, and then you had the parrot voice. Oh my god, I was cracking up.
But that's how I do it. Yeah.
Now I watched your the newer video. I didn't have because I watched your newest video.
That would be the parrot voice.
Yes,
yeah.
Where you did the voices, where you called the brokerages, and you had the bird lady on The Simpsons. So I watched that video, and I watched Tony's video. I haven't had time to watch your Ora Grande video yet. So,
the Ora Grande video. Yeah, that was last night. That was
so I'm actually going to watch that when we're done our live stream tonight. I'm going to watch that tonight.
Sure.
So I got to watch that. So that'll be a mystery to me what's going on in that video. I'll be excited to watch that. Yeah, Bezos said Nancy is the greatest investor of all time. Yes, she is. And I believe it was on Twitter that Unusual Whales did that post that made like pretty much Fox Business and stuff that has all the Congress people's posts, and like Nancy Pelosi outperformed the S&P like crazy.
Yep. It said the Pelosi index. We got to base stuff off Pelosi index.
If she's buying MMTLP, I'm selling my house and I'm buying MMTLP. If Nancy Pelosi buys MMTLP, we get confirmation. Time to mortgage your house, sell your soul, and buy it.
Liquidable assets. Sell those Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Donate some sell some plasma.
We got a comment down here from Kevin. Hi, Bird Lady and Terry. How are you two doing today? Love both of you guys. Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to open it up for more questions for you guys. We're just kind of chatting it up here, having a good time. We just wanted to get on here and talk about the IMPP Series A preferred share situation, which is very interesting.
And regardless of how similar or not similar you may think it is, it's still a good play. It's still a good play.
It's an oil play. And just if you want to get excited about IMPP, at least when I was on there today, get on StockTwits and just go to the IMPP board and watch how fast the conversations was coming in when that thing was going up. It reminded me of Mullen, where you couldn't even keep up with the post. That's when you know there's a lot of retail excitement. There's a couple quick ways to know when there's hype around a stock. And StockTwits is a great tool.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't even have to comment. Like, I don't really post too much into StockTwits, but I like StockTwits because it gives you the trending stocks. I have my watch list on there. I can see what's going on. You can click into the chat, see how many watchers is on there. You can see how fast the chat's going. So there's a lot of indications that the stock's going to move, and that's what kind of triggered me to make that purchase on IMPP. I just wish I would have bought more. But like I said, it was just a couple $100 in gambling money is what I wanted to do with it. Oh, Kevin says he jumped in IMPP today.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Terry needs a silky chicken. I like that.
Yes. I need a bird suit for more street cred.
There you go. Exactly. Bird Street. Don't forget the chickens. Yeah, I know. I got to put the. Actually, I was going to tell Terry. I can't stay too much longer. I got to go put the chickens up. Or you could wait like 10 minutes. I go put the chickens up and come back. So
no, we can. If you wanna, we can call it. We can call it. And we went for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. Yeah, we did. Actually, yeah, we did. We went just about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Why does it? Retail volume jumped in MMTLP. Okay, so MMTLP is on the OTC right now. Not a lot of people can go on the OTC. 2, there's been nothing really released about it yet, and it's all speculation. Good or bad, it's still all speculation. Once more official things come out, that's why I'm like, this presentation hopefully will be good. Otherwise, if it's not so great, MMTLP will just be about flat or might go down.
Yeah.
If the presentation's good and we get some next bridge people on there, they talk about drilling, maybe they talk about what they encountered, or maybe they'll say yes, there is 3.2 billion barrels of oil. They say that sort of stuff, and that's an official press release, official presentation. You're going to have things jump up, right?
Yep.
So it depends, when the presentation is, what they do. Then you'll start seeing a lot more retail come in. But now it's a lot of ifs and a lot of whens and maybe ifs on that. So as soon as like the water starts settling. And
I think there is a lot of people, like you said, wanting to, wait for the risk to be gone. To hear once they hear something official from Meta or George or whoever from Meta Materials, then they'll go all in because they hear it officially from them. And I totally respect that, because it's your money, it's your investment. You got to do what's best for you.
Right. Your money, your choice. Exactly. You do not everybody has the same risk tolerance. Not every investor does oil plays. Some people they stay far away from that. They're only tech people. I know a guy actually came to my house about last month. He was their neighbor in California for a while, and then he moved away. But his name's Brian, and all he does is talk about Apple stock. You can have the most best stock ever. All he does is talk about Apple. Strictly Apple. That's it. Apple. So yeah, some people are like that, or they only do tech, or they only do, and that's what right? Like Warren Buffett. He doesn't do too much tech, new stuff. He doesn't do crypto because he's not that generation for him, right?
Yeah.
He's still in the Holocene period. He's old. He's in the Holocene period still, so he needs. He invests with what he knows, which might be Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett owns Dairy Queen, so there you go, ice cream. Nebraska Furniture, that's a big furniture store up in
I think they own like 1 million companies or something like
that.
They
own so many, but the big one is Nebraska Furniture. Actually, so there's Grandscape. That's what it's called, Grandscape in the Colony, Texas. So it's northwest of Dallas. About 25 minutes. Colony, Texas. It's called Grandscape, and it's this Warren Buffett shopping center. So Warren Buffett owns the land, and he owns several of the businesses actually in the shopping center.
Yeah.
And it's like hotels are there, and they have like this lake you can walk around, and it's this huge furniture store. It's like the biggest, Nebraska Furniture. It's insane.
Yeah, because his Berkshire Hathaway A hit over 500,000 a share.
Isn't that crazy? And it was
could someone just send me one share?
Yeah, one share. It went from 480,000. You would have made $80,000 if you held Berkshire Hathaway A for the past 8 months. $80,000. You don't even have to work. You can just trade Berkshire Hathaway one time a year. You're good to go.
One share.
One share. Once you just ride that way,
make people's yearly salaries on that one trade.
Isn't that crazy when you get up to that much money?
Yeah. David has a pretty good question there. Does Oilco have an experienced oil management team? I remember that from somewhere.
Yeah, that's the Next Bridge team, correct? Yep. They have a very experienced oil management team, actually.
And I think that's where Ken told Sterling that they have a young, exciting team. That's
first class,
first class team. They're really excited about it, and Greg McCabe's happy with it. John Berto's happy with it. So if they're happy, I'm gonna be happy.
Right. I mean, McCabe, yeah, he's happy. McCabe's a very big geology guy.
It just wasn't long ago when he posted MMAT, and MMTLP bullish. You got John.
Oh, you're talking.
Yeah, when John Berta even acknowledged MMTLP.
Right.
For him to just even acknowledge it.
Well, he's not part of a Meta official. He's on as a consultant for this property to help sell this property.
So I guess he is allowed to acknowledge it at least.
Yes, because he's not officially Meta. He's an independent consultant at this point. So yeah, he with a bunch of shares, but yeah, he can acknowledge and say MMTLP, whereas George Palacaris can't because he's an insider with, they aren't associated with that particular symbol, ticker symbol, but they are associated with the asset itself and the dividend itself, the preferred share itself, just not the name of that ticker symbol, right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, we'll just get ready to call it the end of the stream. Let you go handle what you got to do. We went for a good hour and a half, I believe. We can always try to set up as we get more information down the road. If we get more developments of anything, we can come back on. And,
right, can always do a live stream.
Do another live stream again. So I want to thank everyone for hopping on tonight's live stream. We love every single one of you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers.
Right,
I'm out of Canada Dry, but cheers.
Yes. All right, guys. So we'll catch y'all in the next video.
Okay. Peace. Bye.